Hi there, Scott Snyder, Seed Care Specialist with Syngenta. And in this short video today, I'm just going to show you how to create a recipe for a seed treatment slurry on our new online calculator. So we'll just walk you through that. So first off, I did make a short video explaining how to get to this point, but it's just it's going to syngenta.ca, treating seed across the top, and then application. It leads you to a page with a little calculator, and you click on that. Just review that other video if you have trouble finding it. Once you're here, lots of good information here. Some news just on different label expansions, product introductions, stuff like that. And then there's also featured products here. If you slide across, there's different products, and you can go to visit the product page and the labels and the MSDS and stuff like that. One thing to keep in mind is that this is Canada-wide, so this is east and west here. So there'll be Western products you're maybe not familiar with, for canola, for example, and then there'll be bean products and wheat products. And when you scroll along the side here, there's my recipes. So right now we just have the soybean crop, but as we build this out and we'll be adding more crops, cereals, winter wheat, possibly split them apart or just have all cereals under one. And it'll just have a bunch of different spots here where you can click on it, and it'll show you all the recipes if you created on your account for that crop specifically once you click on it. New recipes, that's where we're going to go. Same thing. It just has the only crop here, soybean so far. And then there's also a link for bag tags and a link for the container return form. So these are both links that are found in multiple spots across different Syngenta websites and areas. And they all lead you to the same spot. We just put them here because we thought they're topical. Obviously, if you're creating slurries and runs and you're treating, you're going to need tags, and then you're also eventually going to be emptying product totes and need this form. So first off, we want to go into the new recipe, create a new recipe. You'll see a common theme as we go through this. We've tried to keep it fairly intuitive and give you lots of places for lots of detail, but then also to keep it clean and crisp, you've got the ability usually to collapse things if you go across to the right with these arrows, especially if you're working off of an iPad or a tablet and or a phone, which this is compatible with just through the mobile browser. But then that way you obviously just clear up your field of view a bit. So first here, you can name a recipe whatever you want. The cool thing here, you can copy an existing recipe if you want. So if you have a bunch of recipes and you're just between recipes, you're tweaking one or two things, but you want all the other details the same, all you do is you'd click here. You can see I've got quite a few, but you could click one of these old ones and it's going to load all the same recipe details, and then you can just go and tweak the difference that you want and name it something new. As well, you got room for quite a lengthy description here on the recipes. What I'm finding most people, including myself, seem to want to do though is kind of load up this recipe name just so that it's very clear what this is. Is this fungicide only, or is this fungicide insecticide, or is this fungicide insecticide enhanced where you have a polymer in there? There's lots of different options. It's totally up to you how you want to kind of create your naming system, and I'm sure that'll change over time as you get new products in and new recipes, and add an extra mix tank and get a bit more detailed on and expand your options. But for now, let's just call this one test fungicide insecticide enhanced. We'll kind of throw the book at it here. So for this one, if you roll down here, we'll collapse that if you want. Seed care products. So right now it's set up. Your treatment options here are going to be Vibrance Max RFC for tens of Vibrance Max, so for tens and the Vibrance, or Cruiser Vibrance Max. And when you pick one of those, so we're going to go for tens of Vibrance Max for this example, it's going to give you something over here. It seems a bit redundant because it's there's only one option. What is Fortenza Vibrance Max? It's the product Fortenza and the product Vibrance Max. But as we introduce new products or new product combinations, and we come out, first year might be a co-pack, second year might be a premix, and we have all these different combinations. What this is designed to do is we can start saying, like, this is what people would refer to the mix as, but when you actually go over here, this is telling the calculator what actual products you have, what jugs you have, if it's a co-pack or if it's all in one, that type of thing. You could do cruiser if you wanted, and or just Vibrance Max. So for this one, we're going for Fortenza. It's going to automatically do that. We're going to look down here at additional tank mix options. So there is an option here for something additional, whether it be a competitor or something brand new. This year I've used this for, if we have a research product and I want to run a research product example through this, then I can put that in here. What it's going to do is it's going to ask you for the name, the rate, the product density, and then additional product concentration. So that would be potentially if you've got a product where you can do, there's a rate range, then you could have the density, which product concentration you're targeting there. For this one, we're gonna leave that out, but let's just say we're topping up with Apron because we got some Phytophthora pressure. We're gonna go with Saltro because we've got some SDS pressure. And then when you go down here, there's a liquid inoculant. So this is one that's going to depend on what inoculant you're using, obviously. But let's use Optimize LV, the new Optimize LV as an example. So you can name it as such. I just know offhand, but you'll have to look this up on the label if you don't know. The application rate is 98 mils per 100 kg. You can see here that is per 100 kg. And then the density. So most inoculants try to be at a density right around 1. I have a chart to look up for the different ones, what they're at on the label. Some of them don't actually post it. So you might have to reach out to your, for example, Novozymes rep or something like that. But for this example, we'll just put it in as 1. And what this is going to do by using the density, by using the rate, it's actually going to, once we get into an actual run, what it's going to do is it's going to use these to calculate what your flow rate should be on your different pumps, depending on which tank each products are assigned to. So it's actually quite cool. And then you can be watching that on your treater, and if something's way out of whack, as far as the numbers are far off from what it's telling it should be, then you might have a screen plugged or something like that. If you're using a polymer, you would just get the same thing here, same 3 boxes. Instead of inoculant, it's going to say polymer. So you put that in here. It might be like a flow ride or something. If you're adding an extra colorant, same idea. Just gives you those options. And then we did leave one option here for another additional product. And as people get more complex and more specific, possibly switching to rate per seed treating and getting some of those volumes down, that opens up room for other products. We could have a number of other products here, but we just wanted to start with, one here and the one up top here, just to keep it from getting too overbuilt and too complex right away. So if we have this as the example, you can review it and we like it. So we're gonna save it. But if, say you're trying to deal with multiple things at once because it's, spring and things are going crazy, you realize you messed up a little bit or you're not quite sure, you can just reset the recipe and it's going to wipe everything. But we like this, so we're going to hit save. Tells you it's saved successfully. Now it brings you back to this page right away after you've done one, to the My Recipes, and in this case soybean, because that's where we put it. And you'll see there's some information here. So test fungicide, insecticide enhanced. And I call it that because we've also got the Saltro in there, instead of just your base fungicide, insecticide, and shows you the primary product, the date you created, which can be pretty handy. And then you can run, which a run would be the same thing or most people would say like a batch or a treating session, something like that. And then you could copy this. If you click any of these, you're going to have to select which one you're actually talking about first. But if you slide over to the right here, you can see this arrow. And when you click that arrow, it drops down and it shows you just a little bit more detail. So you got an actual rate in here for the extra. You got the rate of the other products in here. And then these ones here, the main primary products, they don't show you the rate just because I mean, it's already programmed in there and you'll be running at those label rates. So that's all for creating a recipe. Actually, the only other thing we should mention here is if you did want to, send this to, you probably wouldn't necessarily want to send it to a customer. You could, but maybe you want to send it to your manager or somebody else within the retail, just to show them all the details. Maybe somebody in the office doing some of the billing. What you could do is you could click on that and you could either print it or email it, or again, if you want to get rid of it and clean things up, you could go delete. But I'll show you the example. If we go print, it's going to take a second here. I'm going to load you up a page. You can save it as a PDF on your computer, or you can send it to your actual printer, but it's going to give you just a bit of an expanded look at everything. So it's just one page there, tells you everything. So you can print that, or if you wanted to email it, it emails it right from here. And you'll see I got a warning there because it had unselected this. So you just always got to make sure you're telling it exactly what you want. Email it. It's going to tell you what recipes are in there. So if I clicked on multiple here, it's going to do all of them that I click on. You're going to find an email address, and then you're going to hit add, and it's going to drop down there, and you're going to hit send. And when it does that, it takes a little bit. Part of it's my internet, but also it's basically taking it, running it through your actual email, and bouncing it out there, the other side there. So the other thing too here is you could search by crop if you wanted. Like right now, I only have soybeans, so that's all it's going to give you, and it's under soybeans. But you could search there, or you could be searching on specific names, or you go to the bottom here and you can scroll across different pages, or you can expand it up to 50 per page if you're on a computer with a big screen and you want to scroll down and see all of them at once. So that's everything for creating a recipe. And if you have any more questions about that, just you can call or email me, and we can get you kind of rolling on making different recipes. It's real nice to be able to handle this in the off season or the winter, get everything loaded so you have all your different options, and then that way when you're actually getting orders, it's all already there, and it's all from a record keeping aspect, you can be looking back at all this. Even from an inventory management, once we get into the next video where I'll show you how to create a run or a batch. My hope is that we could build in with the IT team's help, a lot of their help, we could build in that, once you have all these batches, we could be doing the same thing, clicking on the different recipes, and then creating summaries based on those recipes and how much product we should have been going through based on the calculator. And then that can help inventory management on your side of things, as well as forecasting on our side of things, just to make sure we got how much product's out there and how much more product we're going to need.